And while there's so much back and forth between the two heavyweights, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, like Kristen just said, it's not time to forget about Bernie Sanders. The senator from Vermont has his rally cap on and his eyes set on the possibility of a contested convention. But can he get the attention of voters, specifically in important swing states that we talk about every election cycle? Let's bring in Larry Sabato. He is the director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia and, of course, the author of Sabato's Crystal Ball. Thank you so much for joining us, Larry.
Thank you.
Let me get your reaction first and foremost. What is the advantage of Sanders staying in the race? He said there that he wants to see a contested convention. Is that even possible?
Well, you can have a contested convention in several ways. Now, the nomination obviously is not going to go to Bernie Sanders. That's clear to everybody. But you can have a contested convention about the platform. You could have a contested convention about the vice presidential choice. You know, the delegates have to vote on the vice presidential choice. And there could be a Bernie Sanders nominee, that is either Sanders himself or somebody that he favors if the Sanders people don't like Hillary Clinton's eventual choice.
Is that
also,
something that the Hillary camp
sense,
is concerned about, though?
Pardon me?
Is that something that the Hillary camp is concerned about at this point? She seems to really be focused on Donald Trump.
Well, she's focused on Trump because the general election has begun, but she can't put the convention in her past, given the fact that there is still a Bernie Sanders candidacy. And by the way, who thought that the Republicans would resolve their nomination before the Democrats did theirs, given the fact that the Democratic candidate, the opposite to Hillary Clinton, did not appear in the beginning all that substantial. So that's actually an advantage that the Republicans have, at least temporarily, until we get through the primaries in June. So, you know, as far as Bernie Sanders is concerned, Clinton has to keep one eye on him, even as she is going into the general election and essentially pretending that she's already the nominee opposing Donald Trump.
Right, and there's some debate whether or not that's making her a stronger or a weaker candidate. But I want to shift because you brought up general election terms. There's a number of states that we seem to talk about every election cycle, specifically Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida. And if you look at the numbers, it seems as if the two heavyweights, the presumptive nominee Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, looks as if they're pretty close in Florida and Pennsylvania with this particular poll, the Quinnipiac poll. And then in Ohio, it looks like Trump is leading a little bit. Do these numbers matter? Why or why not?
Okay, number one, it's May. And just to warn everybody ahead of time, there will be 1,643,943 polls before November. I did a count. Just kidding. It's not quite that high, but we all know what's coming. And, you know, this is May. I don't pay that much attention to polls in May. But I'll tell you one thing that is significant about the Q polls and the other polls that we've seen. The base, the rank and file, is uniting a lot faster than the leadership is, really in both parties. But I think the Republican Party is a surprise because so much of the headline story is about how, you know, Paul Ryan isn't that excited about Donald Trump, or the two presidents Bush aren't endorsing him. But the rank and file in this very polarized age, where people really identify with their parties, even if they don't admit it to themselves and their families, they are lining up behind their nominees. And so Trump actually is getting a very sizable portion of Republicans long before the convention. I think that's going to help define the general election.
All right, Larry Sabato, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm sure once we get a number, another one of those 1.9 million polls, we'll find an excuse to have you on so you could break it down for us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Thank you.